my channel. In today's video we're going to make this pernil. Delicious. We are going to teach you how to have, look at the flavor, this delicious pernil season, nice, so you could have flavor in every bite. Delicious. Look at that. It's not dry. It's very juicy. Very juicy. I'm going to teach you the technique how to get a pernil that is not juicy. That is juicy, I'm sorry, and not dry, what I meant to say. And you can still get it nice and crunchy, but nice and soft. Look, it's still dripping. That's soft because of moisture. I'm gonna show you the trick how I got this pernil to be nice and moist. Let's make the recipe step by step. Hello. Here we have the ingredients that we're gonna use to make the sofrito or sazon, like we call in Dominican Republic. And we have one fit or ajicito gustoso, one Italian pepper, a big one, half of a green pepper, half of a red pepper, one red onion or purple onion, one white one, a big one, culantro or recao, I don't know how you call it in your country. I have the fit or green onion, thyme. I also have tender cilantro, and I have the adult cilantro as well. I also have 5 leaves, this very small leaf of bay leaf, and a whole head of garlic. I also have a sour orange, lime, lemon, and a half of a sweet lemon. I like to balance my citric that way. I find that the different type of citric just give a little kick. Extra virgin olive oil, what I drizzle there is also gonna help your machine not to be too forced, and it's gonna have a nice consistency and nice taste. I have 1 spoon of cilantro seeds, and I have 2 spoons of Dominican oregano. I grind it with my own bare hands, and 3 spoons of salt. Be careful with the salt. If you're making pernil, you have to add 1 spoon of salt per pound of pernil. So I only put 3 in here because when I'm adding, I add that to my pernil, my chicken or my turkey. When I'm adding the dry ingredient that I added to the meat first before I put the wet ingredients, I consider this the wet ingredients. Excuse me. I like to put it the salt with the dry ingredient first, and then with this sofrito or adobo, with this sazon, I like to add sodium as well. You have to take that into consideration so you don't make your meat or your pernil, your chicken, your turkey, whatever it is that you're making, you don't make it salty. Always do your math with the salt. So that's something that you have to take into consideration for your seasoning. So let's make this delicious sofrito or sazon. So this you can put in the refrigerator. You can get a glass jar and put it in the refrigerator, and it can last you a very long time. You could also take ice cube, the ones that come with the cover on it, and you could put it in the freezer. Make sure you put it in a Ziploc bag after you cover it so nothing gets the odor, because it smells very strong. And you could use it whenever you want to. My tip to you, when I was growing up in New York and we had to go to the Dominican Republic for Christmas vacation, we also always make this. So whenever we came from the yard, we always clean the refrigerator before we left. So we made sure that we had sofrito or sazon already done. So whenever we came out from vacation, we didn't have the fresh ingredient, but we already had it already blended, and all we had to do was just cook. Coming home from the airport and cooking, or coming home from the airport and ordering takeout, but then the next day you still have that jet lag, that you're still tired, so you don't have to leave your house to go get fresh ingredient. That's a good tip for you to do. Consider when you're going on vacation. So now we are going to storage in here, right? And we're also going to season our meat, and whatever it is that you're going to season, whether it's your pernil, chicken, turkey, if you are going to make arroz con guandule or moro de habichuela or moro de guandule, you can use it as well. And you know, whatever it is that you are going to cook, it could be for the holidays, it could be in your daily life, you already prepare. All right. So here we have our pernil already cleaned with vinegar, and then I submerged it in water for 30 minutes with the citrus, sour, orange, and the lime and the lemon. As you see, it even changed the color because all of those citrus, but we want the meat to be nice and clean. Now we're going to take a pointy knife and we're going to make some holes, right? And make it wide enough and deep enough that you can put your seasoning inside, right? Because you want your pernil to have good flavor, and you're gonna go all around your pernil doing this, right? Except the skin, right? Because you want we have a pre-cut right here, letter X, and we want to keep the skin intact. So don't forget that the bottom of the pernil, you have to do the same thing, right? With your knife, ensure you put it in, and ensure that you can put your finger in. I suggest you to use gloves to do this. And we're gonna go all around our pernil doing this, right? Because you also want to go all around the bone from your pernil, right? Because you want to have salt and flavor in the inside of your pernil. That's the worst thing, is when somebody gives you a piece of pernil, and you take a bite, there's no flavor. So you see the holes you're making, you're going to make sure that your finger goes in and you add those seasoning right in there. You're going to be doing that in the bottom of your pernil, right? I'm going to do it like this. This, you want it to be this size. It's big enough that you could put your finger in and come out with no problem. So when you're putting the seasoning in, it could go in with no problem. As you see, just like that. I'm going to go all around our thigh or our shoulder, whatever it is that you have. Okay. Okay, let me show you guys something. You put this knife here, right? And when it's already in, right underneath of the skin, as you see, right underneath of the skin. And then since you're in, you're gonna go to the left. The incision in here is gonna be the same side, but you're moving the knife right underneath of your pernil. You flip it and you come to this side, right? So when you put your seasoning in, right, you're putting it in all the way, but in the inside. You don't want to touch your skin. We want to have it intact. But inside here, when you put on your seasoning, all of that is going to be there. And then when you make a cut, when you're serving your pernil, you're going to have all that flavor inside. And over here, I have the dry ingredients. I have 1 spoon of smoked paprika, half a spoon of Dominican oregano. Even though I already put it on the sofrito, I like to put it in my dry ingredients because I like to put it on first. And I also put a spoon of adobo, a spoon of garlic powder, half a chicken cube, and half a spoon of black pepper, and half a spoon of achiote powder. And I'm gonna mix all of these ingredients, and then I'm gonna add it to my pernil before I add the sofrito. I like to add the dry ingredients first and then the sofrito. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. If it makes it very difficult for you to insert the seasoning inside, take a funnel, kitchen funnel, right? Put it in the hole. Take your teaspoon and add the seasoning. Shake your funnel and lift up your meat so it can go. See, look at that. It went all the way in. You don't see nothing around. That's a trick, right? And we're gonna do it all around our pernil. See? I put it here, lift it up, right? And take 1 teaspoon of the seasoning and you put it in. Pick up your pernil, shake your funnel, and it goes all the way down, as you see. I love it. I hope this trick is useful for you, and I'm gonna do it through the whole pernil. And after you finish incorporating in all of your holes your seasoning, then you're going to season the outside of your pernil. You make sure you put it all around. And now that we finish seasoning our pernil, right? It's nice and dry with all of the dry ingredients. Now what we're going to do is that we are going to season it with the wet ingredient, right? The sofrito that we made. Look how beautiful this color between the paprika and the achiote added to our pernil. It looks beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now let's add the sofrito that we made. If you want to use the same technique we use for the dry seasoning with the funnel, you are welcome to do so. This one is going to be a little easier because it's a little bit more liquidy. And look at this. And just like you did before, you pick it up so it can stretch, and then you shake it so your seasoning could go down. And that's how you do it. And if for any reason your liquid gets stuck, all you have to do is just take the knife and go like this, and voila, you see, it all comes out and it goes straight in. And then you repeat the same thing through the next little hole that you have in there. And all of the sazon, so the, see, the sofrito goes in. And as you see, we continue with the leftover seasoning that we had from when we put it inside with the funnel. We put it on the outside. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to ensure that everything is in. You could continue going around with your fingers in. Massage your thigh real good. And what you're gonna do is that you are going to put it in the refrigerator. Make sure you put this part at the bottom, so all of the residue or the seasoning that stay in your bowl while you're seasoning can penetrate on that part, because you want to keep your skin side up in that part at the bottom, so I could get that nice flavor. You see all of those incisions. And what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna taste for sodium. I'm gonna wet my finger. It tastes very good for sodium. Very good, very good. This pernil gonna have an amazing taste, amazing flavor, because of the technique we use, or using first the dry ingredients so it can penetrate first, and then using the fresh but more wet seasoning and the citric. The citric from the orange, the sour orange and the sweet orange and the lime and the lemon, it added a nice kick to it. So we're going to leave this pernil. We're not gonna cook it today. We're gonna put it away. And I recommend you to leave your pernil seasoned for 3 days if you want a nice tasty pernil. If you don't have 3 days, because I understand that people work, and literally I have co-worker in the past that used to go shopping for the Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday because they didn't have a day off before. So if you have Thursday night to season your pernil before Wednesday night for season your pernil, and you only have one night, just use that. Use what you have. But I do not recommend you to season your pernil the day off. And if you really only could do it the day off, please do it early in the morning and cook your pernil in the afternoon. Give it at least a couple of hours to marinate, please, so your meat can absorb the sodium and the seasoning, and it could taste very good. So the day is finally here that we are going to cook our pernil, and I already put it on the baking pan that I'm going to be using to bake it. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to wipe off the excess of the sazon that is here, the residue, because I'm going to use olive oil to kind of brush it off in the skin. And if I leave all of the residue from the sazon, they're gonna kind of burn before our skin, and I don't want that. And I already preheat the oven at 350 degrees. I'm going to let it bake at 350 degrees for 1 hour, and then as you see, there's a little bit of liquid on the pan, right, from when I marinated. Meat usually let go their own liquid, but it's going to be letting go a lot of fluid for the first couple of hours. So once we bake it, cover with foil paper for 1 hour, we're going to use that same juice, and we're going to hydrate our meat with it, and then we're going to cover it for another hour, and we're still going to be cooking it at 350 degrees. Show you guys a little trick. I put a large baking pan in my oven with water. This is going to keep a nice moisture inside the oven while your pernil is cooking, and it's going to make sure that that pernil doesn't get too dry. I already covered our pernil. It's very sealed, nice and sealed, and then we're gonna put it on the oven. And I just put it on the oven. We're gonna wait until the oven do its job. And 1 hour passed by, and now we're gonna check in our pernil. And look at all of the liquid. Remember what I was telling you guys at the beginning? That came out of our pernil. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hydrate it. So you hydrate your pernil every hour when you open it. And that is going to help your pernil have nice flavor and be hydrated, so it don't be dry. All that juice that is coming out of it has good flavor from the meat itself. And you go all around it, especially the area where there's no skin, because the skin keep the rest of the meat protected. But the area where there is no skin, it could get dry. So 1 hour and a half passed by after I opened our pernil earlier, and this is how it looks like. So now let me tell you guys, when I opened it earlier, let me show you over here. When I opened it earlier, some of the skin was stuck to the foil paper. So I said, let me take my Kix baking parchment paper, right? They used to bake the cookies, and I put it over, and look, it didn't get stuck. From now on, that's what I'm gonna do. You know, sometimes the best ideas come in those moments that you least expect it. And today was one of those moments that I did something that I wasn't expecting. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to hydrate my pernil real good. And now I'm going to put it back open. Now, let me let you know, this pernil is only 6 pounds. It's not big, and it's from a very young pork, very young. The bones are not too thick, and the skin is not too thick either. I grew up in a farm, and this is how my grandmother always said, this is how you identify how old your animal is. The meat is very tender already. So as you see right here, it's falling off the bones right here, right here. And I'm going to leave it open until it gets nice and crispy on the top, on the skin, because you want to make sure you get the skin nice and crunchy. I also going to remove some of the liquid, because you see all of the liquid that came out of the pernil. That's why when you boil your pernil to cook, it's one size, and when you finish cooking it, you're like, okay, what happened? It got smaller, because all the water from the animal literally comes out. Remember those holes we made before? You can, if they're still visible, you can just put the liquid there so it can be hydrated in the inside. If you have one of these, and you want to use it, very easy. You extract the fluid, and then you see you going to inject the fluid in the inside. You going to avoid this process. It's very easy. If you're going to marinate your pernil without the way that I show you today, this is a way that you could put the seasoning and add to it. Okay, I just gave you another tip to make your life easier when it comes to baking your turkey and your chicken or your pernil. My son is over here. It smells good. He loves pernil. See, when it's Thanksgiving, nobody in this house worry about no turkey. They worry about pernil. My husband is a very good chef when it comes to making pernil, but he doesn't have much time. But I think I learned from the best watching my grandmother making pernil in the Dominican Republic. She used to make it in the outdoor, with some charcoal, slow roast. The whole day will be roasting in there, the whole entire day for Christmas and New Year. And it used to be delicious. Okay, now we're gonna put it back in the oven. Welcome to my channel where I cook and speak with my broken English, but the food tastes amazing. Today's recipe is one of those secret recipes that my grandmother used to make. We're going to make the roasted pork, but we're going to pre-cook it in the stove, and then we're going to put it in the oven. This is the trick that my grandmother used to make a juicy roasted pork, juicy in the inside but crunchy in the outside. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Help me out. Come on, help me out. Help this lady, please. And I hope that you enjoy this recipe. Let's go straight to it. We have an 8-pound pernil. I already cleaned it off with vinegar and lemon. What I'm going to do before I season it is that I'm going to partial remove the skin, right? Because what you want to do is remove the skin so you could add the seasoning. And the way I'm going to make this pernil is the way my grandmother used to do it, where she used to go around it. And now, over here, you try to make the incision near the bone, right? Because it's like the center. You make sure you flip the knife, right? I'm sorry, I was just measuring the black pepper, and some of the dust from the black pepper went inside. You see how I made that incision? So, because we're gonna be putting seasoning through there. And you could wear gloves if you don't feel comfortable using your bare hands. I will wear gloves sometimes, and sometimes I don't. In order for me to show you what I'm doing correctly, I have to not wear gloves, because sometimes the glove is not going to allow me to demonstrate what I want to demonstrate. And when I was a kid, my mom would cook, and I would say I want to use gloves. She would say, no, you need to feel the meat. You gotta feel the meat. So I'm feeling the meat, but you could wear gloves if you want. I just have to do a lot of cleaning on my hand later on with some vinegar and soap, so I don't smell like oregano. So this part of the pernil is kind of thick, so you're gonna make another incision. Never make it like this, because otherwise you're gonna rip it off. But if you make it sideways, your pernil is gonna stay intact, because you don't want to destroy it. You have to not, because this is the part that has like different layers of the pernil, so you want to make sure that, see, I made one incision here, and one here, and one here next to the bone. And then you come here, there's like another bone in there, so I'm not touching it. So what I'm gonna do right now is to mix in a bowl the dry seasoning, okay? The dry seasoning. And the dry seasoning, I'm gonna make it very simple, but with natural ingredient. I have 2 teaspoons of black pepper, and I have 3 teaspoons of adobo Goya. I'm not promoting any brand. I like to use it because instead of using salt, I will be putting a little salt in. be afraid of tasting it, right? It tastes salty. So that means that it's gonna have enough salt. That's why I added from the adobo. Because you do not want to have a pernil with no salt on it. You have to taste the salt. And now, okay, I'm going to be putting my seasoning, my fresh seasoning that I'm going to be adding to the pernil on the blender. So now I have a small head of garlic. I have half of an Italian pepper. I have 3 pieces. I have half of a big onion. I'm gonna put the onion in the blender. I have culantro, which is cilantro ancho, and I have cilantro. I buy the big stem. When I have to do this, drop in my garlic. And I have three ajicito gustoso, and I didn't take away the seeds because those seeds are going to be adding some good flavor. So there you go. And now I'm going to blend. I have red pepper, green pepper that it was almost turning red. See, some of it is turning. I'm gonna add it to the blender with some lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And I'm gonna blend it together. I'm going to squeeze the lemon juice. When you're cooking pork, sour orange or lemon juice is the best. Adding citric to pork and add some good flavor to your meat. And now we're gonna add a drizzle of olive oil. And we're going to blend it. So I'm taking sweet orange because I don't like it. I don't like the citric from the make a little knot. Not too tight. It's not a big deal. And I'm gonna leave it upside down. So the skin is already covered here with the flavor, and when you leave it upside down, I'm gonna leave it upside down tonight. Tomorrow, when I wake up, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it, right? See all these parts that have those edges. Guys, this smells amazing. There's nothing cooking with fresh ingredient, and like you guys saw, I did not add a lot of too much seasoning. The dry, which is the adobo and the oregano and the black pepper, and just the fresh ingredient. And that's all you need to have beautiful, nice, flavorful pernil. Now I'm gonna cover it up and leave it there for, I'll see you in 3 days. Okay, my people, I had this pernil in the refrigerator for 3 days. And look at this beauty. Look at all the water that the meat had let go by itself. And also that side as well. Not only the cook, but it could get that flavor. And I'm gonna lower the flame because I do not want, under any circumstances, for that skin to get stuck to the pan or to get rusty. I'm gonna put it on low. Now we're going to flip it to the original position. Very careful. And you see that our skin almost got stuck a little bit, but didn't. That's why I put it on low flames, because if I leave it in high flame or medium, the outside skin is very sensitive and it might get stuck at the bottom, and we don't want that because we want to have this crispy part of the pernil. And now I'm going to turn off the stove now that our pernil has cooked on both sizes. The 45 minutes have already passed, and now I'm going to transfer into a pan to put it on the oven. Our pernil have been in the oven for 2 hours. Oh wow. Oops. Guys, this smells so good. Wow. It's so tender. Look how a piece just broke. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this gravy and I'm going to put it in a bowl, because later on when you chop your meat, if somebody wants a little bit of this gravy after they remove all the oil, they can just add it to the meat. Some people like the pernil to be in the juicy side. A lot of people, my husband likes to shred it. When it's done, he likes to cut it in pieces and then pour some of this gravy over. For him, I kind of the next day after I make pernil, I like to take the leftover meat and make tacos with it. And if you have a little bit of that sauce, you might be able to, I didn't took all of it, I took half of it. And now we're gonna put it in roasting, sorry. Now we're gonna put it on roasting. And so we have the
You want to roast on 400?
I'm gonna add now some of the water, right? Because we wanna make sure that we have flavor. And like I said, you do this throughout the baking process. So then like that, your pernil continue to have all that flavor to penetrate through the sensation you made when you were seasoning it. And I have to say, this pernil smells amazing. It's paid off all the hard work when you take a bite, and it's so tender, guys. This meat is so tender. You could look, so soft and tender. And because we had it covered very good, it's not dry or anything. So if you follow this step, I guarantee that you're gonna have the best pernil ever. It's nice and soft, and it's been in the oven for 2 hours. So now it's actually 2 hours and like 20 minutes. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Oh wow, it smells amazing. Okay, I'm gonna put it back on the oven now, but I'm gonna leave it open, not cover.